fellow collector, Shuki here with a review of the DXS01 Shinkalion E5 Hayabusa. So, back in my Televi full bottle video, I stumbled upon these in the Televicon magazine, and I was familiar with Shinkalion. It is a TakaraTomy toy line that started, I think, back in 2015, late 2015. And carried on all the way through early 2017. And it finally got popular enough to warrant them doing a show on it. Hence the Shinkalion, the animation logo up there. Very similar to TakaraTomy's Drive headline. Started as a toy line, got popular, got an animation. And so now we are here with Shinkalion, and I was super excited. I wanted to pick these up for the longest time. I love trains. Anyone that knows me knows I love trains. That's why I love Toku's line so much. And I love robots, and this was just the combination of them that I definitely wanted to invest in. And I unfortunately just never really did. But with the animation, they're now re-releasing all of the Shinkalion, at least as of right now, starting at the beginning of the line with the E5 Hayabusa. So I decided to watch the show, jump in. I definitely urge you to check out the show. It's super fun. It's your typical, like, kind of kid anime with robots and all that fun stuff. But it really takes the whole train aspect to heart, and they really did their research on everything. And I definitely love it for that. The Shinkansen Ultra Evolution Institute. I love these a ton. They're really cool. So for those of you that may have seen videos of the original Shinkalion, or have the original Shinkalion toys, these are a little bit of an upgrade. They are 4,500 yen or so, give or take, depending on when and where you pick them up. So they're a little bit more than the original ones were, but I believe there's a little bit more articulation, a little bit more molding details. The weapons now have paint and stuff on them. They're not just big transparent pieces. So there is that as well. Plus, they come with these little IC cards that get used in the Shinka Gear, which we're totally going to take a look at because I'm going all in on this line because I love it. And just like the original line, you can mix and match the upper and lower portions in a LInk Gattai to make new forms. And we will check that out in later videos once we take a look at E6, E7, and stuff like that. So very, very cool. This was released in December 2017 as a little bit of a sneak preview for the animation to come. So without further ado, let's go ahead and get this open and take a look. Real quick, here is the IC card that I was talking about. You have Hayabusa's, or E5's head right up here, a QR code that probably works on a website or app or something like that. But very cool, very reminiscent of the ones that they use in the show. Shinka right there with a C, and then other things say Shinka with a K. They're very inconsistent, but hey, it's whatever. An E5 Hayabusa right there. They all work off of these little pins right here that'll hit the buttons in the Shinka Gear. So, as you can see, like this one has that pin. Now we take a sneak peek at Komachi's, E6's. It's up a little bit and it'll hit a different pin and so on and so forth. So, those of you that follow like the Toku goods and stuff know how these little pin systems work. But on to the train itself. I love these so much. She's backwards. There we go. I do. I love these so much. And if you missed the logo on the box, these are fully compatible with TakaraTomy's plow rail system. It's a very popular train system, track system in Japan. And so if you would like, you can totally pick up some tracks and you can put them on the tracks and kind of play with them like that. There are some motor pieces coming out as well that will give these some motor functions. So really cool. It's a very robust toy line, and I dig it a ton. As someone who grew up on Thomas the Tank Engine and played endless amounts with the wooden and die-cast Thomas trains. This is like a fusion of my favorite things in the world, trains and robots. So very, very cool. I love the way Hayabusa looks, E5. And again, E5 Hayabusa is an actual Shinkansen in Japan. This is 100% like a real thing. I mean, obviously it doesn't transform into a robot. It'd be really cool if it did, but It is a real thing in Japan. So very, very cool. Nice metallic kind of teal color going on, and the pink stripe right there, which looks very cool. This is a wonderful, wonderful paint. It looks very, very sharp, so I dig that a ton. But very cool, and they do secure, like, a lot. Like, you can wiggle this one around a little bit. I don't want to break anything, so I'm not going to. And nothing's falling apart. These connectors are very secure. In fact, they're kind of hard to take apart. So you don't have to worry about that either. So, like, it rolls well. It stays connected. There's nothing negative I could say about, like, this toy, particularly in this mode. It's a great little train toy. So to disconnect them, like I said, it's a little bit of a hassle, and I always kind of feel like I'm breaking things, but these are split right there and right there, so even if you use some force, because they're already split, it shouldn't cause a big hassle or anything like that. So there you go. And this piece in the middle, you don't actually use this piece for the robot. Robot is made up of the two, like, driving portions of the Shinkansen. Because one, like, Shinkansen go one way, and then they go the other way. So, like, there's two driving portions on a Shinkansen. But this middle portion right here, the passenger car, splits apart. And it is your weapon and gear storage for all of these guys. So in E5's case, it includes the wing pieces as well as the sword, which flips out like that. So very cool, and we'll take a look at that momentarily. We'll set that aside. We don't need this in this video, but this is the helmet that connects onto the head of the robot when you're doing the LInk Gattais. So we don't really need that right now, so we won't bother taking a look at that. But we'll take a look at that in E6's video when we combine these two. So we take our two train parts, and in the show, they just kind of go and, like, snap together and start transforming. Unfortunately, you can't do that with the toys. The body connector is in here, and so when you flip that out like that, you can't really connect it in the front. So can't really do that, but to do the legs, you just split that open right there, just like that, and kind of see where everything is going. Even out the legs like so. Real quick note that these are stickers. There's very minor sticker placements on these toys. It's not a huge deal or anything like that. I'm not worried about them coming off or anything. So there's that. Flip these portions up just like so. That will reveal the feet. Kind of fold these down and then push this part around, and then that will push these panels up. They will snap in place, snap the feet in place. Everything clicks with these. Split them apart. These are an ankle tilt, so just kind of line up the ankle so it's flat on the ground. And these pieces, you can splay them backwards if you want to. You can splay them forwards. The actual animation model, if I remember correctly, has them splayed forward a smidge. So we will just kind of leave them like that. But if you are so inclined, you can like move them all the way back and have them be like a giant, I don't know what to call that exactly, but you could do it if you want to. So that is the legs. The front piece, very, very simple as well. Split that apart right there. This piece will fold back, and then this piece will fold down, and in doing so, we'll kind of lift the head up. There's a little button back here that should open everything up as well. There is a notch right there that will peg in right there. While doing so, you might want to go ahead and splay the arm out. And that will peg right in. The connector will just split and plug into the arm right there. Flip the hand out, just like that. Flip the hand out, peg it into the side, kind of even out the arms a bit. And there is one more sticker right down there, just as a word of warning. Just kind of level out the head a little bit, make sure it doesn't get caught on this little back panel right here. And you are going to want to swing out the head crest for E5. And one thing to make note of, this is very loose. So if you're playing with it or anything like that, it will probably fall down. And the head is on a ball joint, but we'll get to articulation momentarily. And then you just take the two halves of the robot, snap them together, and there you have E5 Hayabusa. So very cool. I love the way that this looks. As a huge fan of things like Rail Racer and Transformers, and like I said, the Tohoku Gear line for Super Sentai and stuff like that. This just gets me. It looks like a train robot, and it acts like a train robot, and it is a train robot. So I love it for that. So very, very cool. As for articulation, like I said, the head is on a ball joint. The only thing I'm going to nitpick about on these toys is that there's nothing clipping the head in place. So that transformation joint right there is still alive and well, and there's nothing you can really do about it. So moving the head, you're always going to have this sort of dip going on, which is a little bit annoying. But other than that, the head is on a ball joint, and it can rotate completely around, which is always nice. You do have a rotation right up there at the shoulders. You have a rotation right there at the bicep, a single joint at the elbow, and a little bit of wrist movement due to the transformation. So there is your arms. Down at the legs leaves a little bit to be desired, in my humble opinion, but given the restrictions of transformation, budget, and all that, I assume they had thought about these things. No waist movement. You do get some knee movement, again, due to transformation. So you can bend the knees back all the way like this. Unfortunately, you can't really do anything forward. You can bend the knee forward, but you can't actually bend the thigh or hip area forward. So it looks a little silly. But again, these are toys meant for kids. So I don't know how much they're going to be doing posing or anything like that. But it is a little bit of a bummer. I really kind of hope to see like a Soul of Chogokin or something like that of these, which won't ever happen because Soul of Chogokin is Bandai. But you get the idea, like a super posable, possibly die-cast, transformable Hayabusa. I would totally get behind. Or just a posable rendition of the robot itself, even if it doesn't transform. I would dig that as well. And like I said, you do get an ankle tilt down there as well, and then you can move these however you see fit. So not the greatest of posability, but as a fun little transformable train robot, it has plenty of enough points of articulation for me to have a ton of fun with it. So very cool. There we cool. Very cool. There we go from the back, and like I said, this little section right here, just take off the wing pieces. You don't need to attach these if you don't want to. Him having them and him not having them are very inconsistent. In the show, the animation does not currently, as of episode 7 is the last one I watched, have them on him. But in the ending credits, the ending theme song, the animation model does have them on it, so I don't know if they had them on there and then decided they didn't want to include them. But regardless, they just fit into this second little hole just like that, and you can kind of splay them out however you wish. But yeah, so the animation model does not have it, but the ending credits one does, all the promo material does, and so I just choose to go ahead and attach them because I think it looks really cool. So there you go with that. Then you want to take the Kaisatsu Sword, flip that up, and this is kind of based on, if you can kind of take a look at it, it's based on like the ticket readers. So just pretend here. So you'd put the ticket right there, and then the gate would swing open. It's one of those. It's one of those little ticket kind of turnstile sort of things, which is really cool. In the show, this has like a stop motion, and it locks the enemy in place so they can do a final attack on him and stuff. It's actually pretty cool. So that just fits in his hand, and again, due to the arm's articulation, you can get all sorts of sword poses with that. I kind of wish there was a little bit of stickers on the weapons here, but there is not, so it's a little bit plain. But it is what it is. And then the last function of this is just something new with this molding of the toy, is it is capable of doing the Grand Cross final attack. So his final attack, the chest piece opens up here, and it reveals a cannon, and then he fires a big laser blast out of his chest. So that panel opens up, and you got the little laser thingy going on in there. So very cool. Like I said, this is new to this version of the toy. The original E5 did not have that, but very, very, very cool. So transformation backwards is very simple as well. Just kind of fold up the Kaisatsu Sword and plug this back together. And then you're going to take your middle piece, open it up. That's going to sit right in there, and then close back up. Split the robot apart. Fold up the legs, just like so. Swing the foot down, swing the foot down. Make sure you swing that out. Nope, nope, toe, come on, there we go. Toe folds up, and again, everything on these toys click. Everything clicks into place. So you have the one half, and then over here, fold up the head. That will fold back into the body. That will fold up as well. Fold the hands in. Then line that up. There we go. Knew I'd get it eventually. And that will fold back up. Swing that up and around. Make sure your connector is out. And there you have the front half of the train. Then you can take the middle portion, connect them just like that, and you're back to the train. So I cannot stress how much I love this line of toys. I was so tempted back in the day to pick these up, and as I continued to see them get released in 2016, 2017, I continued to want to get them. And then I caught wind of the fact that they were making a show, and then I caught wind that they were making the toys over again in better versions, and this was a best time as any to jump on board, pun fully intended. And I could not be happier on these. The show is really fun. I'm digging it a lot. There's 8 episodes have aired so far as of this recording, so super fun. I dig these toys, I dig the show, and I'm just very happy to be into this line and to have purchased this line and to share this line with you all. So if you like trains or Shinkansen, which are trains, but anything like that, or just a big fan of transforming robot toys, I definitely urge you to check this line out. It is super fun. It is not the most affordable of lines. Like I said, 4,500 yen a pop. A little bit cheaper on HLJ and stuff, obviously, so it's not super cheap, but the end result is a super cool train toy that does transform into a pretty nifty robot, so I can't complain, really, at the end of the day. I really love these a lot. So I will stop my ranting and my gushing over these right now, so you can move about your day. But yeah, definitely give this a shot. Weebu Shogun is doing the subs for this, so if you want to go ahead and pop over to Nya, or whatever you like to look for shows at, and go ahead and search Shinkalion. You will find it, and you can watch it, and you will hopefully enjoy it as much as I am. So that about does it for this review. Let me know what you think of this in the comments down below, and hopefully you are looking forward to more, because I'm definitely buying more. So as always, thanks for watching, take care, and have a great one. Bye. I'd like to thank Joey, Mr. Mike, Joshua, and all my fans who support me on Patreon.